Welcome back, everyone, to our Euphoria review, Season 2, Episode 2, Out of Touch. My name is Zach. This is our host, Cynthia, my girlfriend. She loves Euphoria. She got me into this show, and we had a great discussion last week about the show.
Yes.
Now we have another episode to talk about. Full spoilers, of course, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, go watch it, come back, then let's have a great discussion. We're not going to recap the entire episode. We're just going to pretty much give our basic overall thoughts. I think overall you said you liked the last episode more than this one, right?
Yes.
And I liked this episode more than the last one, because now we're starting to dive a little bit more deeper into what the story for everyone's going to be this season. Because the first episode really didn't much establish, I feel like, everyone where they were. This episode caught us up on everyone, it seems like. Where everyone's mindset is, their psychological nature, all sorts of things like that. Their mental state, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, who do you want to start with? Which character should we start with today? Should we start with Roux? Should we start with Lexi, Fez, Maddie, Kat? Because this is pretty much how we're going to go. We're going to go through each character and pretty much discuss it, because we caught up with everyone this time around.
Yeah.
So who are you thinking?
Let's go with Lexi.
Lexi?
She pissed me off.
Lexi pissed you off. Okay, so let's talk about Lexi. Why did Lexi piss you off this week?
Because she had a chance to tell Fez and she didn't.
Mm-hmm. But do we know she didn't tell him afterwards?
No, but like before.
Oh,
like he
okay,
was
before.
like
text him or something. Have they been texting? Do we assume that now?
Well, I mean, she went to the store.
Yeah. So I assume they've been texting or talking, or hopefully they have been. I mean, it seems like maybe it was like 2 days later. I'm not sure necessarily. All I hope, though, is... Well, I don't know. It seems like he recovered. So I guess it had been a couple weeks, because Roux said, I've hung out with Elliot a couple times after New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so I guess you are right. Maybe Lexi did talk to them. She should have said something, especially after Cassie said who Fez was.
Yeah.
Because that entire moment, when we saw her riding Rebecca, we were like, ooh, it's going to get sweet. Like, we're gonna... And then we see he's watching. Which, I love this relationship developing between Lexi and Fez. Like, they have a really good relationship.
They do.
But I will say, as I told you, if they kill Fez, I'm gonna riot. I think you're the same way, right?
Yes, definitely. Fez is my favorite.
Same. And Ashtray's a little soldier, man. Freaking Fez gives him the look. He pulls out of the cereal box the Glock. But when when Nate's dad walks up and he's walking around, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I thought he was just gonna walk up and start shooting. But who knows? He knows he's just trying to meet up with what's going on. But all sorts of nature, and that's where kind of the end of the episode goes to, which I think we'll probably leave Nate for last, since this was a heavy episode mostly on him and his mental state, and them actually trying to make us care about him in some way, shape, and form, which, the thing about Nate is, he's the character that you love to hate. The guy is so mentally fucked up from a kid, and from his dad, and everything of that nature, but at the same time, he does so many fucked up things that you just can't come to like him that much. And it sucks, because it's like, for a second, you and me were like, okay, he's going to break the things up with Cassie, and then he's going to move on and go back to Maddie. Nope! Motherfucker fucked Cassie again, but we'll talk about that. Let's jump over to Roux now, because, of course, this is our main star. Zendaya won the Emmy for this. She frustrating you at all with Elliot, or are you kind of happy with what she's doing? Because it seems like right now, she has two different dividing natures. Elliot and Jules. Jules pushes her towards drugs. So does Elliot. Elliot kind of says it's okay to do drugs.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this?
I mean, I love her with Elliot.
Yeah, I like the chemistry.
Elliot.
Yeah.
But like you said, Jules isn't good for her.
And
Elliot's not good for her.
It's like she needs to be on her own.
Yeah.
And focus on herself. And Coleman Diago's character, who I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was fantastic in that special episode they did, where it was just her and him just talking in the diner. Mm-hmm. And the relationship continues in this episode when she gets in the chair and just and he just makes comments towards it, and he takes her home, meets the mom, and just gives her that look like, don't do this to yourself. Like, he knows. And I think, in the end of this day, we all hope that Roux will get her happy story by the end, not her suicidal nature that, Coleman Diago mentions. And first off, I love him as an actor.
He's awesome.
He is so, so good. And Zendaya just proves to him why she's incredible in here. But it sucks because she's kind of playing Jules now in this nature, because Jules really, gave herself to her. And now Roux is like, I think I'm just going to go do drugs with Elliot. You know what I mean?
But I guess because Roux, thing is drugs.
Yeah.
So that's what she loves.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, she could just
What's
be
she gonna
using
choose,
Elliot.
to
She's
do
just
drugs.
using Jules.
She's using both of them in a sense to
Yeah.
get what she wants. Because right now she's in that happy state. I know there was that one episode last season where she was pretty much in her bed, like, for an entire week and didn't piss or anything. And she held it in. And she ended up going to the hospital, I think.
Yeah.
So, not a lot of movement on Roux's storyline, but enough to be like, okay, so we're setting up Roux to have this love triangle with Jules and Ellie. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Jules handles that shit. I think she's like, you choose me or him. Like, she's not stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm really excited to see is how they develop that. Because let's go over to Jules for a second. But last thing I want to mention, Roux saw Cassie get in Nate's car.
Yeah.
And she goes, what the fuck? But again, she's high, so she doesn't know what she's... So that's the thing. They're sneaking around, but not that well. So let's move over now to Jules. Not a lot happened with Jules this week, I feel. But enough to say, okay, again, we see him meeting back up for school. And we can talk about, again, the cinematography, the editing of that nature. I love how they developed this show. And within 30 seconds of watching an episode, even though if it's like dick, penis, boobs, anything of that nature, or just like colorful lights and the music... They do such a good job of like putting you in a trance, into a euphoric nature where you're sitting there and you're locked in for an hour and you can't take your eyes off the screen. Like, that is what I love about the show and the way that they develop that. Do you feel that same way, the euphoric nature?
Definitely.
Okay.
It does pull you in. I think you're just so ready for it though too, especially from like the previous episode.
Yeah, because now you want to see what's gonna happen. Like this week went so slow because I'm like, man, I need my hit now of what's gonna happen next after Fez beat the shit out of Nate. But you know, talking about Jules, she's kind of going into that sad nature because she's like, I gave myself to Roux, and now she's lying about this. And Jules is in the right to feel how she's feeling, you know. So it's interesting. The bowling sequence was cute.
I love the friendship.
And that's and we mentioned that. I like how, especially this season so far, seeing everyone hang out, seeing how they are a close-knitted group. And what did you say when we were watching during the episode? Like, you mentioned how close they were, but how...
I like how there's no, like, divide. Like, everyone's friends, everyone likes Jules, you know, it's everyone...
Likes Maddie, likes Kat, like they all just accept each other. Like, you don't
think they would be friends, right? You don't think they'd be friends, but they are.
And I love really that. Cool. And I like how everyone is like that close-knitted group. Like, that's what I like about it. And I feel like so far these first two episodes have really much established and showed that. Where I feel like the first season, everything was so separated at times, which is not a bad thing. I love the first season, but this season I'm starting to kind of like how they're bringing everyone together while also giving them the storyline, even though again it can be a little bit not confusing, but you want more time with certain characters than others. Like Kat for me, I was mentioning to you in the first season, I didn't love her storyline. I like the mental state of her and how she felt in the first one. Just sometimes I think it took away from some of the more important stuff, especially like Roux's storyline and Jules and everything of that nature. This season, when it started, I was like, oh, we're going to go back. But I think this is actually a stronger establishment of how she's feeling, because I feel like you've probably been with someone before and I've probably been with someone before where we didn't love them, but they fell in love with us. You know what I mean? And is it you? Is it them? The reality is it's probably just us. Yeah. And I feel like this show is showing Kat in a good development. I think a lot of high schoolers go through that. Right. Where they don't get what's the issue. This person is perfect for me. Or they feel
stuck.
Yes.
Because that person loves you.
And they're giving you everything you should want, but it's not the right thing. And then Kat's mental state as well is
she's not in a place to love someone
if she can't love herself. Yeah. And yep, you got it right there. And Barbie Ferreira, is that how you'd say her name? Barbie Ferreira?
Yeah.
As Kat Hernandez, fantastic, great performance. And I think it also is with Maddie and them all go bowling. Maddie's like, oh, I want a sweet relationship like that. But deep down, we all know Kat's not happy. Yeah. And I think that's where we go to also Maddie now. Who we've said it, she's a great performer. She's one of the best characters in the show. She's going to absolutely kill Cassie. Yeah. Like, a fight is building up between both of them. And I don't know when it's going to happen. Is it going to be the season finale? Is it going to be the penultimate episode? It's going to happen next week. Right. What do you think? What's your theory for that? We want to hear your guys' theories as well. We read every comment, so please leave a comment. Let us know your guys' thoughts, as well as hit that like and subscribe button if you love talking Euphoria. We're going to be here every single Sunday talking about this. So,
I think a fight is building up. I don't think it'll happen too soon.
End of the season.
I say end of the
Finale?
season.
Okay.
Yeah, because
We know Cassie and Nate are gonna fuck around for the entire season now.
100%.
So, and you know,
but I think Maddie's gonna kind of catch on.
Yeah.
Because she's already noticed.
Especially
he's
when
not
she
answering
called
her calls.
she was already acting weird. And
Yep.
I think the other thing that's gonna happen here is, you know, Maddie and Nate are gonna get back together, but you fucking damn right know Nate and Cassie are gonna be fucking around too,
of course.
which is gonna add that tension there.
Yeah.
And oof, it's gonna get fucking difficult there. So, but Maddie, really good. I guess now we should talk about Nate, right? Well, let's talk about Fez real fast.
Yes.
Not a lot about Fez in here. We see that Faye is now staying with him because she pushed the building
Fez
manager
is
off.
just such a good guy.
Yeah, and
you know,
it was nice to see there. And now he's preparing for war.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, I was like, oh, is Nate's dad gonna show up? And then it doesn't. So let's talk about Nate. A lot of this episode was heavily focused on Nate. The beginning of this entire episode was pretty much a dream sequence of him seeing what if he had chosen Cassie instead of Maddie. And it kind of showed, like, maybe he would be happier. Maybe he would be less toxic. And in a sense, again, we mentioned it. They want us to care about him. And do we care about him? I want him to get better and not be an asshole and a loser and completely ruin people. But then every time I feel like I'm about to, he does something like he just did, where he gives in to Cassie. And given it's both their choices, not just hers, and I'm just like, yep, Fez should have just beat the shit out of you and killed you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, as we build in through the episode, I think one of the things I really liked about this is the way that whole dream sequence played out.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's struggling with it. Do I be with Maddie? Do I be Kat?
Right.
Like, what's going to make me happy? And I think even for a second, he was like, I like her, but I need to be with Maddie. And I can't do that between their friendship. And then, of course, he goes off and does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
The most important thing about this episode, though, is because we know Maddie has the tape.
Yes.
And as we move in there, the very end of the episode, Nate's dad asks, why did a drug dealer beat you up?
Mm-hmm.
And he's straight up with him.
Yeah.
Remember how you fucked my friend Jules, who I go to school with, who's an underage kid? Well, she told her girlfriend, and her girlfriend told the drug dealer. Yeah. And now they all want to go down to the police station. So maybe I just offended you. Where's the tape? Where's the tape? It's building up. Yeah. And that's going to come out too. And that's where I feel like this season is... Euphoria is so smart in the way that it handles different storylines and how you're intrigued in every single one of them. And every episode ends in a way you're like, I need the next one.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
What are your overall thoughts? Again, now that we've discussed all the spoilers, who is your favorite character to follow along this week?
I want to say I love Elliot and Roux.
Yeah.
I want to see where they go.
Okay.
I can't just pick one.
Yeah.
They're kind of my favorites right now. I'm excited to see where the season goes, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
I'm interested to see what happens between Nate and his dad, and in general that storyline with Fez and Lexi. And
I still can't, like... I think I still just hate them so much that I'm just like... Yeah. I don't care what happens to you.
It's not that I don't care. I'm intrigued how it affects Roux, Jules, Fez, and everyone in that, because it seems like that's going to be the overall acting nature. I feel like it's just
going to end up the dad and
Fez.
Nate.
Oh, Nate? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're just going to kind of go off of there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, next week, hopefully it comes off right off the bat. But guys, that is our Euphoria review for episode 2, full spoilers. We discussed each and every character as much as we could. Leave a comment if we missed out on something. We'll get back to you guys and discuss it down there. As well as what are your guys' theories for the rest of the season, or especially next week's. We do not watch the previews here. We don't know what it showed in the preview, so maybe it's showing some of this shit. We don't watch it, so if we did say something and they showed something in the preview, cool. Let us know down below. But other than that, any last words? No? All right. My name is Zach. This is Cynthia. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below again. We'll see you guys next Sunday for Euphoria. Bye, guys.